Welcome back. I'm sitting down with Jennifer Daly. Jennifer Daly is the entrepreneur and owner of cheeringonmoms.com. Jennifer, thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you for having me.
You're so welcome. You know, I really wanted to highlight you for the Superheroes Mom segment. You're welcome. I created this segment to highlight moms who do it all as yourself. You are a mother, you're an entrepreneur, I'm sure you're a great friend, and so you do so many different things. And I mentioned earlier that in our earlier interview, we juggle 10,000 balls in the air at any given time, and you basically do that. You're running two different companies. You also have a company that's called the Fierce Angels Fashion. I want to talk about that in a little bit as well. How do you tend to find balance, because your schedule is just so hectic?
You know, great question. I get asked that so often. And honestly, I'm not any different than anybody else. I feel very called to run my race and do the best that I can. And I have to prioritize things. You know, my family is my priority. In fact, today, to come to this, I really wanted to come, but my daughter has an event tonight. And so I sat down with her and said, you know, would overlap a little bit. And what would you like me to do? Because she comes first. And she said, go do it, Mom. So here we are. But yeah, it's really understanding those priorities, and you put your time in what you value, you know, so it's family and then business.
You also believe that walking the walk.
Absolutely.
So if you're going to encourage other women to achieve their goals and dreams, you say that you better fight for yours. Talk about that.
Oh my goodness. So I found this out to be true when I was a young mom. I remember I was steaming my 6-month-old daughter's clothes one night. I stayed up late at night and I had this epiphany like, oh my gosh, is this the best use of my time? This seems a little crazy. And so I just realized that I was wrapped up in raising my daughters, which is wonderful, but there's still a calling on my life to help other women and do things outside of that. And so I realized that if I want to encourage other women as a certified life coach to run and do things, then I better do that as well. Right. So I started entering pageants. My girls were doing it. We had a blast, and you know, it makes me mentally fit and physically fit. It makes me get prepared for things, and I'm able to relate to other women that are out there just working hard.
Well, speaking of pageants, and a woman who is a pageant alum, I have been in pageants myself all my life until the age of 24, so I can respect that because I think it grooms us, right? Yes. It teaches us a lot about self-esteem, and it empowers us with interviewing techniques as well. Yes. And one of the things I want to reference, you won the Miss Texas International in 2022, so you weren't just in a pageant, you actually won. Yes. And you've won many of them. How does that translate with your daughters? You talk about them. How do you think it's helped them to see you as a strong, powerful mother? What impact are you making in their life?
I hope the impact is great. You know, they actually started pageants first, and we were at a pageant when someone asked me if I was competing in the Mrs. Division, and my look was, what is that? I don't know. And that's kind of how I got into it. But their eyes just lit up when the thought of mommy doing something, you know, for herself. They loved it. And so as we've grown together, my daughter actually, my oldest Zoe, she did that competition with me, Texas International, and she won the preteen division. So we had an incredible year together going and doing events.
So let's talk about your glam boutique. Yes. Because it's not just about fashion. Yes. You really make a difference in the community. You have nonprofits that are nominated, and some of the proceeds go to them. Yes. Why was it important for you to take something that's so glamorous in fashion, but say, you know what, I'm going to also utilize this platform to make a difference in the lives of the community?
Yes, thank you for asking, because Fierce Angels is about, our motto is stand up, stand out, stand for good. And really it's because it's who I am. I want to, like I mentioned earlier, leave a legacy behind me of kindness and impact. And part of what I can do is, hey, I really like to dress up. I really like glam. And my friends ask me, where do you get your outfits? And so I've curated this closet that they can find all these great things. And part of that is drawing interest. And so let me take that interest and reflect it back to God's light and to doing good in the community. So we use real role models that are women out there doing good in the community. And we feature them on our website and then talk about the nonprofits as well.
If there's a woman that's watching right now, or a teen girl, and they have aspirations to do it all, And a lot of times we're told we can't do it all. I think we really can if we put our mind to it, right? And so what advice would you give to them to encourage them to not give up, to persevere, to fight no matter what, and to not allow anyone else to deter them? You mentioned earlier when you sat down that you stay in your lane. I think that's very crucial, that we do know what our lane is, and not to look at what someone else is doing, but look at what we're doing and what we need to do for ourselves. What advice would you give to them?
Comparison is just a thief. And so I would say, trust God's timing, because I dreamed and wanted all of these things for a really long time, but it was in His timing that was really the revelation to me. Is just do what you can. It's one step at a time. Yes, you can create those long-term goals and those long-term plans, but just one step at a time. What's one thing I can do today to make some progress for tomorrow?
What is your hope that you accomplish from your Glam Boutique? What is your hope, your long-term goal for the company?
Long-term goal is lots of, to open up physical stores as well. Right now, I only carry online.
Okay.
But yes, we're going to expand to a curvy section. My 9-year-old can't wait to be Fierce Little Angels model, because we're going to open a children's section. So we have these other sections that we want to open, but it's about timing.
Yes.
And my commitment to my family is not to be in debt for my business. And so the coaching, everything that I do actually funds Fierce Angels.
Jennifer, thank you for being here and for your
much.
courage and bravery to continue to just push forward. And I am so excited that we were able to highlight you for the Superhero Mom segment.
Oh, thank you so much for having me.
You're very welcome. If you would like to learn more about Jennifer's business, log on to cheeringonmoms.com. And if you want to know more about her Glam Boutique, you can visit fierceangelsfashions.com. We'll be back in a moment. Thank you.